I never thought I would find myself questioning the very foundation of my relationship. When we first met, it felt like a dream come true. I still remember the day vividly. It was a bright afternoon, and I was at the shopping mall, casually browsing through shelves of items I didn't even need. Then, out of nowhere, he appeared. He wasn't the kind of man who went unnoticed. His confidence radiated, and his smile was the kind that could light up the darkest room. When our eyes met, it felt as though the entire world paused. He approached me, striking up a conversation about the most random thing, a book I was holding. I don't even remember what I said back, but whatever it was, it made him laugh. From that moment, we connected like old friends who had finally found each other after years of searching. He wasn't just charming, he was attentive. He noticed the small things, the way I tucked my hair behind my ear when I was nervous, the way my eyes lit up when I spoke about something I loved. He made me feel seen, like I was the only person in the room, even in a crowded mall. As we got to know each other, I realized he was everything I had ever prayed for in a partner. He was caring, supportive, and always there when I needed him. He had a way of making me feel like the most beautiful woman in the world, not just because of how I looked but because of who I was. He appreciated my quirks, my flaws, and even the things I wasn't proud of. But it wasn't just his words that made me feel special, it was his actions. He would surprise me with my favorite snacks after a long day, stay up late to help me with a project, or simply hold me close when I needed comfort. He was my safe space, my anchor in a world that often felt overwhelming. Over time, we built a relationship that felt unbreakable. He didn't just love me, he adored me. He loved the way I laughed, even when it was at the worst jokes. He loved the way I dreamed big and encouraged me to chase after my goals. And yes, he loved my body too, always reminding me of how beautiful I was, even on days when I didn't feel it myself. He made me believe in love again, in its ability to heal, nurture, and bring out the best in two people. I felt like I had finally found my forever, the one person who truly understood and accepted me for who I was. But now, as I sit here grappling with the doubts and fears that have crept into our relationship, I can't help but wonder, was it all too good to be true? Can a love that once felt so perfect withstand the weight of this new uncertainty? Or have I been blinded by the fairy tale I so desperately wanted to believe in? For 2 years, we built a relationship that felt as solid as a mountain, unshakable and full of promise. Those years were filled with laughter, warmth, and moments I thought would last forever. We weren't just a couple, we were best friends, partners in everything, and each other's greatest cheerleaders. We shared everything, our dreams, fears, and the tiniest details of our days. We would talk for hours about our future, weaving dreams that felt so vivid and real, like a story we were writing together. We planned the wedding of our dreams, imagining every detail, from the colors of the flowers to the songs we'd dance to. We even discussed the home we'd live in, picturing a cozy space filled with love and laughter. The conversations about children were always my favorite. We'd imagine their names, their personalities, and how we'd raise them to be kind and strong. Those talks weren't just words, they were promises. Promises of a shared future, of a life we both believed in. In those 2 years, he became my safe haven. He wasn't just my boyfriend, he was my best friend and confidant, the one person I could trust with my deepest thoughts and emotions. He was the first person I turned to when I was happy, the shoulder I leaned on when I was sad, and the voice that reassured me when I doubted myself. Everything about us felt so natural, so right. I never questioned his love for me or mine for him. Together, we faced challenges, celebrated victories, and built a bond that seemed unbreakable. But lately, something has shifted. It's subtle, like a faint crack in a once perfect mirror, but I feel it. The trust and certainty I once had are now clouded by doubts I can't ignore. I've started to wonder if I truly know the man I've been planning to spend forever with. Is he the same person who held my hand and promised me the world? Or have I been so lost in the dreams we built together that I missed the signs of who he really is? It's a question that keeps me up at night, a question I never thought I'd have to ask. How do you reconcile the man you thought you knew with the one who now feels like a stranger? And what do you do when the future you've been building starts to feel like a house of cards, ready to collapse at any moment? It all started one quiet evening, Just the two of us alone in his room. The atmosphere was warm, and as always, we found ourselves talking about the future. That's when he dropped a bombshell that left me speechless. "If we're going to get married, you'll have to prove to me that you can have children," he said with a tone so casual it felt like he was discussing the weather. At first, I laughed, thinking it was a joke. But his expression didn't change. He was serious. "What do you mean?" I asked, trying to mask the growing knot in my stomach. "I just want to be sure, you know. I don't want any surprises after we're married," he explained. "You should get pregnant first. Then, we can talk about the wedding." His words hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. My heart sank, and a wave of emotions washed over me: shock, confusion, and a deep, aching hurt. How could he say something like that? Did he really think I was some sort of test he needed to pass before committing to me? I tried to reason with him, but we've talked about this before. Marriage first, then kids.